I am back again with Sisters. I know I am a day late and a dollar short, so forgive moi. Give moi some grace. This is season 8, episode 4, showing it, showing out, y'all. But I say it, showing it. Anyway, so the episode starts with Andy walking into the hospital and she gets stopped by Hudson. Child, he is just really sitting here acting like Gary's pit bull. Child, I was like, sir, do you like Gary or something? Like, I didn't know of you. I want to say, he was really working on my nerves. I mean, he told Andy he been watching her for years. I want to say he probably been watching her since her and Gary started messing around. Her and Gary started messing around because he said, I know more than you think. And he also says that he told Gary not to mess with her. So that made me think that he's been around longer than, we see him. And y'all, he is so creepy to me. But whatever, she tells him she's going to get a restraining order on him. And at this point, Hudson is just ridiculous. He's delusional. So she proceeds to go into the room and then he grabs her. And then after that, the theme song come on. My girls hold me down. The boys. I'ma always sing this theme song. This is my song. My love life is a headache. We're going out tonight, 'cause I'm looking for love. This time I gave y'all the whole song. Anyway, so then we return back to the episode where the security guard, aka Bookman, and if y'all don't know who Bookman is, Bookman was the maintenance man, the whatever, the super in Good Times. Shout out to Bookman. But I think y'all, he passed away. Ew. But this man looked like Bookman. So, he tells Andy, that she can go in, and then all of a sudden, Hudson pulls out a POA. And I was like, so you just randomly have a POA in your pocket? You just randomly become his power of attorney? Just randomly, just randomly. And so the reason why Hudson wasn't at that door is because he had to go to lunch and get this sandwich or something he was talking about, baby. He said it was good and that they needed to get. I said, Bookman, be at your post. Anyway, we get to the office where we see Robin, talking to Fatima and ask her who was she calling, sir. She was calling Andy. And I was just like, Robin, your name on her Verizon bill, AT&T, T-Mobile, Metro, Cricket, Boost, I don't know. Your name ain't on none of them bills. So whatever coming through her phone and whoever she calling has nothing to do with you. So Robin proceeds to tell Fatima, I know you looking out for Andy, but I'm doing the same thing. And Fatima says to Robin, I don't trust you. You are not to be trusted. And she has questions. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. And she was like, why, all of a sudden, why are you back? Like, Leland passes, all of this stuff is happening and you are back. And also, the person who is in the hospital was trying to take your company from you along with the other fool you have working in this building. Why he ain't fired, I don't know. But he would have been got his walking papers. So he tells her that, he has Andy's best interest. And I was just like, okay. And so we go over to the airport where Danny is at work and Tony comes up to her and gives her a brochure for a higher airline leadership training initiative. and that the spots were closed, and that he so graciously got Danny in the program. And I kind of knew what she was gonna say, but I figured, well, maybe this will be a little different. So she said, why would you do that without asking her? And looking at Danny, her expression, she was like, you could tell she didn't want to do it. You could tell that she just tolerates her job because it pays the bills. And at this point, I just noticed how Tony just gets on my nerves. It seems as though he is looking out for her. I will say that. But I don't know. It was just like, sir, read the cue. Read the cue. You keep trying to overstep. And she doesn't want that, so leave her alone. So we go back to the office. And Hayden is antagonizing Fatima per usual. What? Why? Whatever. Hayden really makes me sick. It does. He just makes me sick. Prior to all of this, Robin did tell Fatima that she has to work with Hayden. Fatima was like, he's a tax attorney, so why would you have him over Andy's cases? This is another thing. This is weird to me. Why would you put a tax attorney over something that a divorce attorney is doing? And his logic is because it'll keep him busy. Again, why are you trying to keep him busy? Anyway, we'll find out sooner or later, I guess. So we go over to the bank. And we finally see Maurice. It's so good to see Maurice. Hey, Maurice. He asked Sabrina what happened. And then I realized how much I love Maurice, but I sometimes can't stand him either. But Maurice did say something that was totally true. He said Gary had it coming. He said you play stupid he said you play stupid games and you win a free trip to Grady Memorial Hospital, and I was here for all of it. So y'all remember Paige, the Caucasian lady who used to work at the bank. She was Sabrina's manager. She rolls up in the bank talking about she want justice, and I'm like, girl, bye. Like, what do you want? And so she said she wants justice because her reputation has been smeared, and at this point, Paige is just trying to flaunt her privilege. So Paige says she had her attorney call corporate. Paige says that somebody called the corporate office saying that she was taking back shots and giving blowjobs to random customers in the back of the bank. She said, I didn't even know what a back shot was. I had to look that up in the Urban Dictionary. And I'm just like, girl, Marie said, who said that? Shout out to Portia. Who said that? And she was like, you and your gay minion. And I was like, oh wow. So I thought that Paige was back, but Sabrina was like, baby, if you don't get out of my bank, I am going to handle you. Just go. Pack your bags, sis. Let's just go to the left. So then we go back to the airport. Yo, this is a lot of traveling. Between the law office, airport, the bank, and the salon, I'm over it. Okay. Anyway, Danny says basically this isn't what she wanted. She also tells Tony, you need to go find the woman he's trying to build. Like I said, most people would say Danny is wrong, but I don't think she was. But I also kind of get what Tony was trying to do, but you should have asked her before you done it. I'm just annoyed at this point because it just annoys me. So Fatima is in that what is that? The y'all, I'm spacing, in the conference room with Hayden, and Zach comes in, and he brings Fatima breakfast. So he snatches the breakfast, talking about what you brought us, and I was just like, this, him and his lips have LDS. He all the way through and through. He reminds me of somebody I work with. Anyway, so him and Zach get the arguing, and so Zach was getting ready to lunge at him because he was just doing too much. He was doing way too much at this point, and so he gets up, goes all the way around, and leaves. And I'm just like, ugh. So Fatima tells Zach what's going on, and that Robin was back, and that she asked, "Do you think it seems strange for him to return while all of this is going on?" So then, as Zach is eating, Fatima is like, she don't feel good. The smell of the burger is making her nauseous. And y'all, if you watching Fatima, you already know that she's pregnant. So I guess now, since we cross back over to Sistas, we are now going to find out that Fatima is pregnant. It's not it's not a secret. We've been saying that. Anyway, girl, we get back to the salon with Karen in his black dress, and they had this loud, obnoxious lady walk in talking about rooster riches ain't real, y'all. It's like, that's the woman that was on Power. Oh, I'm sorry, on Force. That was the one where her son was unalive last season, Leon. As Leon's mama. Paid the little cameo in Sistas. And I like her. She's a very pretty lady. Child, and I guess Roots to Riches took all her edges out, baby, because her edges stopped edging. Them edges was gone. So now we traveling again back to the airport, and Tony tells Danny that she can use a little guidance, and I was like, girl. And I was like, sir, you can use a little guidance to hell. That, so I was just like, Tyler, get Tony away from us with this, because this was ghetto, okay? And so now you have the people around watching her and Tony get into that spat, and Danny was like, you need to go guide your badass kids. And I was like, that's it. Because your kids are bad. You don't even guide them, but you want to try to guide this grown woman. Like, make that make sense to me. So, she says to take the cape off. And he's trying to convince her that she's projecting. She is not projecting. These are things that she don't want, that you're trying to force at her. You are trying to force these things down her throat. She doesn't want it. If she wanted it, she would have applied for it. Apparently, she don't. Anyway, this was probably my favorite part, Sabrina and Maurice's heart-to-heart. And Sabrina's sitting in her office, y'all, and she was like, she's tired of being blamed for something that she didn't do. Sabrina says she tries very hard to be a good person. She finally mentions how she checks on her friends, but they don't do the same for her. The only time they did that was when Sabrina was in jail. When all of this stuff happened with Sabrina and Maurice. I promise y'all, even if you go back to season 1, Sabrina has always been the one checking on everybody. Even as she was going through all of these things with the fertility and stuff like that, I want to say Karen was the only one that was kind of checking in. But Karen still had her own stuff. But still, Sabrina is always the one that's looked over. She is. She says that, and this was like really hurtful to me, even though it's scripted, it was still hurtful to me. She says that she has to shrink herself, and she wants to know when is it time for her to bask in her good karma, and why she blamed for something that she's not doing. She asks, "What is the rules? What is the rule following for? Why does she have to follow the rules?" She feels like people take and they don't give anything back to her. She says she's tired of putting people above herself. She's tired. And I was tired for her in that moment. And people do it a lot. But you shouldn't. And Maurice asked Sabrina if she's going to die today. And she was like, "No, why would you ask me that?" And he said, because she has life to live, if dying is not the plan, and a chance to do it right. I'm sorry, if dying is not the plan, then she have a chance to do it right. I'm sorry, y'all. And Sabrina says she doesn't want to be on her deathbed thinking how she played the side character. And I was like, wow. I was so happy to see Sabrina say those things that she's always wanted to say. Even in these past couple episodes with the fertility treatments, we've seen, I want to say that was last season, we've seen how, those hormones was taking her, but I just felt like you have to just say how you feel. And so Maurice cutely reminds her how she checked Paige and proceeds to tell her that is main character energy. He tells her to get more into that and she will be okay. And that probably was my top tier favorite part of this episode. Asking those questions, understanding, starting to realize, that you're not being treated properly. And that's not just in relationships, but it's in friendships. So for me, I really was here for this. So she goes to extend her hand to Maurice. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And y'all, we get back to Maurice being Maurice. But in that moment, I was really glad that Tyler wrote this part in, because we never see Maurice really be expressive. And even in that season when that guy did that hate crime and beat him up, and Maurice went back to go handle up on him, it was still hard for Maurice to be expressive and be sensitive. Even when he went to jail, it was just like, we need more of these moments with Maurice. Like, yeah, he is naturally funny, but we need those moments. So we got back to the salon, and they still fussing and cackling about this roots to riches edge control, y'all. And the edge control where they snatching up your edges. So y'all, we go back to the hospital, and now Andy is in the room with Gary crying, and I was just like, "Girl, no ma'am," but y'all remember how she was about Gary some seasons. Like, oh girl, I never think she was gonna let Gary go. I was finally happy she finally decided to let him go. So we see those flashbacks from season 1. You know, the birthday, the first episode when he got her the cupcake and told her, you know, I want to be the first to tell you happy birthday. Right before he got a phone call from his wife. But they didn't show that in that montage. We also see, you know, this just different parts of Andy and Gary. So at this moment, I do understand she was speaking her piece to him, and she did tell him why couldn't he be the man that she needed him to be. And Andy, can I just say this? He couldn't be the man you needed him to be because he wasn't even a man to his own wife, which you knew that he was married. Let's just go ahead and start that, Mom. It was you. You just had to. Even when, I'm just going to remind you, even when he hugged you at the end of season 1, and he hugged you to the point where you couldn't breathe and you passed out. You passed out. Anyway, Gary, I want to say this. Didn't Gary look deceased laying in that hospital bed? Like, you could see him breathing, but Cheeto, whatever his name is, his real name, he must have lost a lot of weight, like especially here, you know, because his face didn't look as round as it usually does. But it could have been his hair, because he usually have that low cut, but this time he had like the, you know, like the hair, and I wasn't used to seeing him with hair, so something about him was different. And so this is the moment where Gary wakes up, and y'all, he started foaming at the mouth, and I was like, my Lord. Once again, this might be Gary's departure. Anyway, this is where the episode ends. Tell me what y'all think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will hit y'all in the next video. Bye.